Today we're going to go over crown molding installations. This has to be one of the most intimidating projects for a DIY homeowner to do, and it's because of the angles that are involved and the way that the crown sits on the wall. It protrudes out on an angle that they refer to as the spring angle, and so this angle here gets to be a little challenging when you don't understand the theory behind it and how it's properly measured and cut. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to teach you the way that I do it. It's going to take the complexity out of it completely. You don't have to worry about spring angles. You don't have to worry about compound miter calculations or anything like that. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk a little bit about how to set up the saw and how to cut to be as accurate as possible. Let's get right into it. All right, guys, so when we talk about crown molding, first off, you have to understand that the crown molding has a proper way to sit. It's going to have what you would consider the part that faces down and the part that faces up. And usually we determine what part faces down by which one has the detail profile on it. And as you can see, there's more detail here. So this is going to be the bottom, all right? And the way it usually will sit on the wall is with the bottom and this flat piece right up against it like that, okay? And then it sits out like that on the wall. But in order for you to cut this properly, since you're going to be measuring on the wall, you have to turn it upside down, okay? You have to turn it upside down so that when you measure the wall, you can actually make a mark and you can cut it, okay? If the piece is up, if the piece is in the proper position, there's no way you can anticipate where that mark's going to be by the time the blade comes through the piece. It will probably destroy the piece or damage the piece 90% of the time. So what we're going to do is we're going to flip it up. All right, we're going to place it in the saw in what they call the nested position. And the nested position pretty much just means that we're going to lay it in the saw just as it sits on the wall so that there is no confusion as to the spring angle, compound miters, or anything like that. When it's in this position, all we have to worry about is how long we need the piece, whether we're cutting a right or an outside corner. That's all we have to be concerned about. And obviously we want to know whether it's going to be a 90-degree corner or a 45-degree corner, but those are easy calculations. So once we determine that, the most important part and the piece to this puzzle and mystery is that this piece has to sit in the saw in what they call the nested position. And that means that with the bottom facing up, we want to make sure that this back side of the piece is flat up against the fence and the bottom is flat up against the table, okay? Once you have that, they sell these things. I have a DeWalt, so they sell these miter stops, and you can pretty much just put them in here like this. You clamp it down. When you secure both sides, and you tighten everything down. Now, every time you put a piece of crown molding in here, it's nested exactly in the same position. And when you cut it, it's gonna fit perfect every single time. If for some reason you don't have a DeWalt or you don't have crown stops for your saw, you can just take a scrap piece of wood, determine where that crown needs to be, like we've done here. Take some CA glue or whatever you might have, some clamps, and just put a little dab here, a little dab there, and then you put this piece in. Once you put this piece in, that becomes your new crown stop. You just lay the piece in, mark and cut. It's going to be perfect every time. Just make sure that you place the glue in this area of the saw because that's a stationary area. This part of the saw needs to move. So if you glue it here, it's not going to work. It's not going to allow you to adjust the saw. So once we have that squared away, we know we want it to be in the nested position and the reasons for that. Now let's talk about how I like to orient the piece so that I don't get confused, because the theory is, right, that it's got to be upside down and backwards. And what does that mean? Well, we already established that we're turning it upside down because we need to cut at the bottom, right? So that we've already answered. And why is it backwards? Well, it's backwards because if it's in this position normally, and we would be cutting the right side of the crown if it was oriented properly on the wall, and we need to cut this corner off. When we turn it upside down, as you can see now, this corner becomes this corner, right? Because we flipped it upside down. And that's where the backwards comes into play. So what does that mean? That means that if we needed a right hand cut, we're going to measure to the left side and cut it off here. And that, in essence, when we do that, and then we spin it back around again, because we're really looking for a right, and we put it on the wall, our cut's gonna be on the right hand side, and everything's gonna work out properly. And the one thing you can do so that you don't forget is you can take a piece of blue tape and put it on here, one of those wide 1.5 inch, one here, and just write with a big black marker, left, and you write right, opposite. So now there's no guessing. Now you know, okay, I have a piece, my right side needs to be 12 inches, my left side needs to be 18 inches. So we take a piece of tape, we'll mark it there. We're gonna mark it here, okay? So this is going to be my left. This is going to be my right. We're going to need a piece cut 18 inches on our right side. So we know this is our right because we've already determined that. So say we measure over, we mark 18 inches, right? And we know we're going to be cutting to this side of the saw because that's going to be our right hand cut. If we need a cut that's going to be a left hand cut, right? Then we're going to measure over to this left hand cut. We're going to position that blade and we're going to be cutting to the left side of the saw. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Now let's talk about inside and outside corners. If I need to cut an inside corner and that cut needs to be on my left side, okay, then I'm going to stand here as an example and I'm going to say spin the saw into my body. You see here, I'm standing, the saw's facing me. That would be considered an inside corner, all right? Same thing if I need to cut to my right side, which would be a left hand cut according to the markings, okay? I would move the blade in my direction, and now you can see it's facing me. So that makes it an inside corner. Let me remove this vacuum hose for a second. It's getting in the way. Okay. All right. So now we're back again. All right. We know that we want to cut. We want to cut to the right side of the saw because it's really a left-hand cut. Okay. We're going to spin it 45. Okay. It's already in the nested position because we have our crown stops in place or whatever. All right. We're going to turn the blade into our body. That's an inside corner. Same thing if it was on the opposite side. We know we need to cut a piece that's going to be for the right side, but we're really cutting on our left side of the piece. So we move to the right and we cut to our left, okay? The blade is pointing me, it's inside. If it's outside, okay, now it's the same thing. We need a left hand outside corner. So we're going to be cutting obviously to our right, but it's labeled as left here. You see the blade? The blade is pointed away from me. That makes it an outside cut. See the blade, the handle is pointed away from me. The blade is pointed away from my body. Same thing, if I was cutting the opposite side, okay, I'd stand on this side. The blade is pointing away from my body. So when I come down, the handle is pointing away. And I find that to be one of the easiest methods to stay oriented so that you know whether you're cutting inside corners or outside corners. I think that if it takes all the thinking away from and all the guessing away from whether you're oriented properly, whether you're really cutting to the right side or the left side of the saw, because we have the cheat here for that. And it also takes away which way should the blade be pointing. Should it be pointing right or should it be pointing left? The only thing you have to worry about in this scenario is it going to be a 45-degree cut, 90-degree cut, 22.5-degree cut, whatever it is, and the dimension. I'll put my crown stops in place and I'll adjust it so that you can see, okay, the adjustment is here. Make sure that that piece is flat, that piece is flat. Bottom up, as we spoke about, put your crown stop in place or your piece of wood, whatever you have handy. Now we're in the proper nested position. Now there's no guessing game. Every time you put this piece in, you measure what you need and you're good. I'm gonna make an inside corner and I'm gonna make an outside corner, okay? So in this case, we're gonna be cutting to the right side of the saw, which is really gonna be like technically a left-hand side, all right? when you're measuring, to make it easier before we move on, when you're measuring a wall, instead of complicating, a lot of people talk about pointing at a corner and determining, you know, what side of that corner we're working on. I don't like to do that. I like to look at the project as that being the wall, okay? And then what I like to do is, that's my left-hand corner, that's my right-hand corner. That's my left inside corner, that's my right outside corner. And it makes it a lot easier that way. So if I measured that wall and it was 12 feet, I would write 12 feet, and then I would write an O on the right side of that dimension and an I on the left side of that dimension. And that's all I need, okay? And then we'll get back to the saw, and then we'll talk about the way I would cut it. So if that was the wall I was working on, okay, I needed an outside corner on my right. I would measure to the left side of my saw. I would make a mark, and I would be cutting just the way it's oriented here because it's an outside corner and that blade is facing away from me, okay? And on my left-hand side, it's gonna be an inside corner, right? So I know I'm really gonna be cutting to the right side of the saw. I would take that piece, I would slide it over because I always wanna be cutting, okay, on that side, and now the blade is facing me, which is an inside corner. So this is exactly what I would do. I would cut this piece just like that. This would wind up being my inside corner, and this would wind up being my outside corner, okay? And the other thing I like to do as well is, and I'll cut this inside corner to show you what I mean. All right, we talk about long points and short points when we're cutting in finished carpentry, all right? This is technically a long point, this is a short point, okay? As you can see, it's hard to hook your tape measure to that point. There's nothing for it to grab to, but up here you can hook to it, all right? So we always like to cut our inside corners first because they leave you with a long point to hook to. So now if this piece needed to be marked at, say, 12 inches, right? I would take my tape measure, I would hook to it. I would take my tape measure, I would hook to it. I would come over here, 18 inches, I would make a mark. I'd put it back in the saw. Now my mark is on the piece of wood. And then all I have to do is sneak up on it and make that cut. And that would be my outside corner. We're gonna do inside corner on my right. We're gonna do an inside corner on my left. Okay. It's got another inside corner. Okay. And then we'll just cut it off because this is a demonstration piece only, okay? So now, since we have two corners, we have a right and a left inside corner, we can use this one and match it up to whatever we want. That is a perfect 90-degree inside corner, okay? Sitting on the ceiling like that, perfect 90-degree inside corner. That's a right side, and that's a left side. As you can see, if you were looking at this wall, this would be a right side inside corner. If you were looking at this wall, this would be a left side inside corner, okay? And it would sit on the wall just like this. Perfect, all right? Now we'll make two outside corners. Okay. I believe this one's already an outside corner by default because of the way that we cut it earlier. So I just wanted to show you what that would be, okay? That would be this cut here, right? Boom, I would be cutting a left hand outside corner. I'm cutting to the right side, and I'm cutting with my blade facing away from me. Then I would move this way, and I would be cutting a right side corner, but I would be cutting to the left side of the saw, okay? And the piece would be away from me, right? The blade would be away from me, just like that, okay? So since we already have this one, we'll make another outside corner, and then we'll match it up so you can see. All right, always make sure the profile is facing up, okay? Make sure it's flat up against the stopper, flat up against the fence, rotate your saw to 45 degrees. And again, in this case, what do we have, right? This shows that this is going to be an outside left-hand cut, right? Why? Because the blade is to my right and the blade is facing away from me. So this is going to be, when this is flipped upside down, this side actually becomes the opposite side. So this is a left-hand outside corner, okay? Now we'll come to 0 and then we'll just slide it over and just cut it just for the purposes of creating a test piece. Perfect. That's a perfect 90-degree outside corner. If I have small pieces, what I like to do is I like to join them with a little CA glue. This way when you put it in place, it looks just like that, nice and tight, nice and perfect. All right, guys, listen, I hope this explanation helped you. Like I said, this is the key. This is the piece to the puzzle. If you want to do crown molding installs and you're a little intimidated by it, don't be. Like I said, all you need to do is put the crown in the saw in a nested position, okay? And just do a little cheat. Put right on the left side, put left on the right side. Then you already know what side of the piece you're cutting to. And I already showed you which way to orient the blade on the saw. So I think you have all the tools you need to take on a small project and see how easy it could be and how successful you could be at installing this. And then you can take on even bigger projects. All right, guys, I hope this helped. If you, again, this video was just based on the orientation of crown. It was based on how we set up the saw, what nested means, and how we position the blade in order to get the cuts, whether we're talking about right hands, left hand, inside or outside cuts. This doesn't get into the nuances of actual installation, you know, doing a good install when it comes to tweaking the pieces and adjusting them in place. If you'd like a video on something like that, let me know and I'll see if I can mock up a wall here and do something like that to actually show you the tips and tricks on getting good measurements and getting accurate fits when you're doing these installations. All right, guys, thanks a lot, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks.